Alright, what is up everyone? I'm trying something a little different with this video today. I was going over the footage for this game and the game audio was just drowning out my voice, so you can't really hear me talking the whole time. So I decided that I was just going to try and do a voiceover of this, taking one out of Sub-Zero-Arc's book. I just wanted to give it a try, see if we can get it going. I just want to get right into this game. We start with the Tactician's Crown Portal. We sit there, and I have no idea what comp I want to run in this one, but I sit there and I see a Zoe, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe let's try the Zoe reroll. Now, Sub-Zero-Arc did a video about this. It's one of the rank 1 people are running this comp, and it starts with it's Zoe, Poppy, Lilia, Ari, Hecarim, and then you also add Bastion in there. Hold on, let me go back to this. So we sit there and we look at our augments here. And for that comp, you want to have as many 3 stars as you possibly can, and it's a 1-cost reroll. So look at a Stars Born, and I'm like, you know what? Let's try and do this. You get an instant 2-star. It's just going to make things go a lot faster. That's 3 champs that you don't have to try and find. So I'm going with that. We find the 2-star Poppy, which is just perfect, and we're sitting on the 2 costs right there. We're just kind of hanging out, trying to see who our next opponent was right there. Now the items that you want to have for Zoe are going to be blue buff, Gnasher's Tooth, and then you want to have a death cap on her. Those are just the best items for her for this comp. I mean, usually you're not having 1 cost be your main carry for comps, but for this one it's special. So the reason why it's going to be a 1-cost reroll, you want to have as many 3 stars as you possibly can, because Ari's Arcana, her little special trait that she gets for being in Arcana or in the game, it gives you additional ability power per 3-star that you have on your team. So as you can see here, I'm putting this into the team planner there. Let me just see if I can pause this perfectly. I have this set to 300 speed. It might be too fast, but as you can see, we've got Lilia, Zoe, Poppy, Ari, Hecarim, and then Taric for our 4th Bastion. This is going to make us really good, and they have Rise and Melio for our the other 2 Scholar. Now, Bard is also another Scholar that you can use as well, but you really want to have the Melio on there so you can get items for the rest of your team, because you're really focused on getting items for Zoe and then Poppy or Lilia, depending on who your main tank is going to be. Usually I just put on whoever my first 2-star is or whoever my first 3-star is. It just goes from there. And then you want to have a static shiv on Rise for the shred, and you want to have a Morello's on him as well. Now let me click play right here. So we sit there. We still haven't used our 2-star for, or our 2-cost for Stars Born. We're just kind of sitting on there waiting for that Aura because she's the only 2-cost that is in this comp. And we are just crushing right now. 95 health right now. Obviously it's only the 3rd match. And we go to Carousel. We are in 4th place for the Carousel, and we're looking for blue buff. That is what we're looking for. And we get the tier off of the Warwick. Perfect. So you have a lot of tiers that go into this comp here. I was looking it up. So you want to have a tier for, or 2 tiers for blue buff. Then you want to have a tier for that static shift that you're going to put on Rise later. And then you want to have a redemption on whoever your tank is. So that ends up being 4 tiers. It's just kind of hard to come by. Looking at everything else, looking at the rest of our items, we have a sword and a glove, which don't really help us with anything. And then that belt can either be a redemption for our tank or it'll be a Gnasher's Tooth. You really want to prioritize the Zoe items. We sit there, we get our 2-star Ari. We have the Tactician's Crown on our 1-star Ari, but there's no point in selling because we want to have her 3-star as well. So on the guide at TFT Academy, it says you only need a 2-star Ari, but I always end up finding 3-star Ari before I find a 3-star 1-cost. Is kind of insane. So we are now level 5. We have the Tactician's Crown, so we get to have 6 people on our board, and I'm just waiting for our 4th Bastion. And we're going to see who we end up putting on there. We get not the best items coming out of that. Okay, there's our Ari, so we end up putting the 2-star Ari in with the Tactician's Crown on for the little bit of stats. get our Poppy. We're now 2 Poppies off. We also end up finding a Shen, so now we're 4 Bastions, so we should be pretty strong. This Kassadin was causing me some problems, so I believe we lose. No, we won't. No, okay, so we actually lose this one because the Nunu is just busted. But whatever. And we're looking at our augments. We end up taking Prismatic Ticket. Obviously, for any reroll comp, Prismatic Ticket is just goated. It's so good. Let's see who we found there. So we found another Zoe. We are 2 Aries off. We're 2 Poppies off. And we have a 1-star Lilia. So we're looking to see there. We also have a 1-star frontline with Hecarim and Shen for the other one on the bench. And we're just getting kind of creamed right now, but it's all right. Like, we're at 3-3, 75 health. Not the end of the world. I mean, we're ahead by a lot for finding all of our champs and stuff like that. We end up getting the 2-star Shen. That's going to help us out a lot. And then we look there and we decide, who should we use this lesser champ duplicator? And I sit there and I'm like, well, I should probably just put it on Poppy just so we can have a 3-star, start getting that use out of having Arcana on Ari. We end up getting back to 50 gold with that win there. And we're looking, I was trying to think, we wanted a bow, but that was not available. So we ended up taking a vest to put on our Poppy. And we ended up making the Sunfire just because we don't have anti-heal right now. And I'd rather just have it now instead of waiting. So maybe that'll help us out just a little bit. We are now 3 Lilias off, 2 Zoes off, and 2 Aries off. And we are a little bit stronger. Nice. And we end up winning this one. Perfect. So, but I love this reroll comp. It's my absolute favorite. Especially all the videos that are coming out about different reroll comps and stuff like that. I think about putting the Shojin on there. Oh, I also just edited something, but I thought about putting the Shojin on there. We get our 3-star Ari. We have another Hecarim because we ended up selling him for bench space earlier. And we're going to take out these wolves. We have another tier for the blue buff, which is just amazing. And then we get a Gargoyles on our Poppy, since she's our only 3-star right now. And we're just rolling frantically looking for our 3 stars. Copy of every 1 cost unit. That helps us out a ton. So now we have a 3-star Zoe. We are now 1 Lilia off, and then we can just get off of level 5 and start leveling to get to our other units on, things like that. So we have the Rise on bench as well, so we can put him on for at level 8. And I sit here and we go over Clockwork Accelerator or Ascension, and we ultimately end up going with Ascension. I know that Rise's ult works with like attack speed, but I was like, might as well just do more damage with Poppy because she's going to be casting the entire time, and maybe this game lasts, or maybe these rounds last more than 15 seconds, and it'll help us out quite a bit. So we end up losing to this Kassadin here. He's pretty juiced. He's got a Bloodthirster and a Rage Blade, which are just best in slot items, and then he has a Gambler's Blade as well that's going to help him with his AP. He's also going to print gold for them as well. So it's 4-3. We're sitting at 43 health. I'm honestly not too worried because all we have to do is get to the next level and find a Melio or another Scholar to throw on, and then we're chilling. Our board spikes, and then everything's fine. So we're winning rounds now since we leveled up to 6. Looking at Carousel here, and I'm like, well, we still need the Gnasher's Tooth. So we end up grabbing the belt off of the 5 cost there. And Morgana is a solid unit, but she doesn't really fit into this comp. But I mean, whenever you have a 5 cost, you obviously want to try and slide her in there as much as possible. And if we don't have to find the Melio, then we'll definitely be playing Morgana. So we are still fighting here. We have all of our 3 stars, so we're really just trying to level as quickly as possible. Rise is putting in work on this Susan. He dies, and we still end up winning this. Perfect. There's another Rise there. We find a 4th Scholar. Bard is really not the best, like I said earlier. You really want to have the Melio on there just to throw items on everybody. But for now, 4 Scholar spikes is just a little bit. Excuse me. All right, let's see. So we are still winning here. There's a close fight there. And we are now on to Raptors. We have a reroll. We end up taking it. We shouldn't be rolling right now that I'm looking back at it, but I can't help myself sometimes. And we're really just looking for the rest of the items for Zoe here. So we get the bow. We have a Gnasher's Tooth. And we just pre-level all the way, or almost all the way to level 8. And we're looking at our items, and we're like, dude, these just aren't the best. We got a guard breaker, we have a death blade, and we're running an AP comp, so it's really not the best. Guard breaker might get slammed later, but who knows? All right, so we're level 7, and we're beating boards that are level 9, which I just absolutely love. We have a bard there, and we end up taking a combat augment. We have a rise, and then we find the Morgana again, put her on. So now we're getting preserver from her. And this just is going to help us a little bit, staying alive, getting everyone ulting quite a bit more, and we kill that guy. So now it's a top 4. This is great. I'm like, dude, finally. Take a sip real quick. All right, perfect. So we have 6 rises right now going through that entire thing, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, I'll just hold them. Like, I'm cool with at least a 4th place. That's fine. But we're looking around, we're trying to see if there's better items, and we have the bramble vest. We're looking for shred there, but we couldn't find any, and that would help us out quite a bit. So we also got a reforger. I don't think I ended up using it. We gotta lock our shop, and I did not use the reforger. So I think 300 speed's just too fast, but we're gonna pause here. So I end up slamming the guard breaker onto rise, and then we put a death blade on bard just because I felt bad about just having items on the side of on our bench just not being used. So I'd grab that reforger. I'm like, okay, I'll just reforge the death blade. Like, how worse can it be? You know what I mean? But I ended up not using the reforger in time, and I sit there and I'm like, dang it, I can't use this reforger. And I panic, but if we're late in the game, so I remember that it's that's a permanent one. So this is perfect. Let's see here. So we lock our shop because we have Tark 2-star there. And let's see. And we are losing. And that's okay. Not the end of the world. We're going to have 2-star Tark. That's going to help us out quite a bit. And we're just rolling. So I'm really trying to find Melio. At a 3% chance, it's not the greatest in the world. But I really thought we were going to be able to find it. We are also 2 rises off. And I sit there and I'm like, okay, well, if we can live long enough. All right, we finally got the shred for Lilia. This is perfect. We find the Melio. This is just amazing. We get a combat augment there. And we're looking for rise. So we are now 1 rise off of having a 3-star rise, which automatically kind of just wins you the game. Obviously, with all these boards, like, they're really just not amazing. And so I was like, okay, 3-star rise is going to help us. And we're going to keep looking for him. And there he is. So we get the 3-star rise. Now I'm like, oh, this is perfect. But what can make a 3-star rise even better? If he's a 3-star 5 cost with major polymorph. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be great. I really want to find this. You can see me kind of freaking out in the bottom right. I'm like, okay, that's the goal here. We're strong enough to live. We're not going to be losing at all. And so I really want to find major polymorph. I'm just rolling my gold as quickly as possible, trying to find it. I know that we're going to win the game. This is fine. And I'm just donkey rolling. I'm like, I got to find this. I've never used it before. I've only ever seen it in like TikToks and things like that. And 3-star rise is just smoking. I had to take a Dr. Pepper break right there, right in the middle of me executing that guy. And we find the Rage Blade. So let's see. So he gets a bunch of items from Melio. We throw the Rage Blade on here because that's just a good item for him because his ult stacks with his stuff. So let's see if I could time this right. So we're really just rolling. I mean, we're not really scared of these boards. We're at 17 health, and we're just smoking these guys. That guy's level 10. Like, he has 11 units on board, and I have 9. It's gross. So we find him. We're rolling, and we are rolling. There it is. So we get the major polymorph, and I'm sitting here. I'm like, dude, let's go. And I kind of panic here a little bit. I ended up just selling my entire board instead of just selling the Tarek because the only other 4 cost on there was rise, but I was like, I'm not taking any chances because I mess up sometimes. But I click it. I'm so happy. I sell my board. We get a 3-star Nora and Yumi, and I'm just ecstatic. I throw the blue buff on there, and I'm like, this is the game. As you can see, I'm super excited, and that is just how it goes. So I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you really enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next one.